So for my first image, I looked at textures and colors. My second image, I gathered silhouettes for the fastenings and the hoods. My third image just helped me emphasize the silhouettes and techniques I wanted to use in the construction of my hoods. And then my fourth image was just of colors to see if I wanted to explore other color schemes, but looking back at the brief and the constraint and our description of our character, the color scheme of dark, dull colors reflect his socioeconomic status and occupation the best. From the images, inspiration images, I created design 1, which includes only one point on the hood and it's quite short. The hood is a loose universal fit which can allow a lot of wearers to use. It includes eyelet finishings to tie together to hold it round the shoulders of the wearer. I believe it might need a different hem finish. It just seems a bit too plain, and I might play with the one point on the top of the hood and maybe extend it out and make it longer. From the first design, I created the second design, and in this one I've played with the single point on top of the hood and actually extended it out longer and made it longer. Another theme I got inspired from my inspiration images. The universal fit of the hood is still available, but I've also added a fitted seam on the top. I find it provides a better fit for the head of the wearer, and a better fit means more air trapped in the head, therefore keeping the wearer's head more warm in the colder weather months. Also included are closures, which are the eyelets with a leather lace finish, and I've added tassels on the bottom of the hem in this second design to reflect the medieval theme of this time. However, I do feel that they may be slightly too gestury. This whole design kind of comes off as too gestury, so I might change it in the next design but carry some elements across. In design 3, I have included the tassel finish on the hem, as I feel it was an element I wanted to carry across from design 2. However, and I've also carried across the fitted seam on the top of the hood for a better fit of the hood for the wearer. I've also still carried across the eyelets as the finished closures on the garment, but this time, instead of just having one point that's either too short or too long, I've added 2 points, two pointed horns on each side of the hood, as I think it provides a better individual look for a herdsman, and it still reflects the medieval theme of this time. In this design, I've also added a leather finish around the outer edge of the hood, as I think it just provides another element to tie in with the rest of the outfit. As leather is predominantly used throughout the rest of the outfit, I thought it would be ideal to include it in some part of the hood so it just ties the whole outfit together. In this fourth design of the hood, I have carried across the 2 points or 2 horns on the top of the hood. I've carried across the fitted seam on the top of the hood, the leather finishing around the seam of the hood, eyelet finishes for closures. However, I've taken off the tassels on the hem of the hood just because I feel it doesn't really feel like it reflects the character we're trying to depict. It feels too modern and gestury. It feels as though it doesn't really reflect the time of what they'd be able to afford and how much time they'd actually be able to spend making their clothes. They'd be very simple clothes, but they'd be more on the durable, functional side than aesthetic side. So taking the tassels out off the bottom of the hen, I think will make the hood a bit more authentic and fit the brief better. In design 1 of my belt, I've decided to play with the thickness of the belt. I've gone for a very wide and thick, chunky belt to help support whatever bags or tools he's looping off his belt to help him while he's herding. Also to be able to pull in his tunic and tuck in his pants just to keep his tunic out of the way and getting in the way of whatever function he has to do at work. In the second design, I've played with the length of the belt. I've gone for a really long design belt, just because at the time most of the fashion reflected a lot of long, drapey, flowy kind of fashions, which included their belts as well. However, I don't think this would reflect the brief very well, as he was a farmer and farmers couldn't afford a lot of fabric of what they could, so things were usually patched or bought in small increments or mended together or even handed down through generations. So yeah. In the previous designs, playing with the thickness and the belt's length, I've decided on going for a short belt that's thin in width, but I've decided to include a circular buckle just to see the look of it. And I find the circle belt's a bit too feminine, and as we are trying to build a character for a herdsman who is a male, I believe maybe if we change the shape of the belt buckle, it will help suit the brief and the outfit better. In my fourth and final design of the belt, I have included a short fitted belt that is able to carry bags and tools or whatever he wants to hang off his belt to assist him in his herding and farming and whatever he needs to do. I've also included a square belt, as I find it just fits the brief better and fits the rest of the outfit better and just ties it together better. I find this belt helps reflect his socio-economic status better, as it fits the brief of being made of leather and natural materials. And by having the square belt, I find it just helps add to the medieval theme of the outfit by providing a strong emphasis on his stomach, which is his belt. It is important for this belt to function properly more than to be aesthetically pleasing, as the nature of a herdsman is a farmer, so in their world, functionality overrides aesthetic every time, as they're not judged on their aesthetic appearance, they're judged on their ability to function and work throughout the seasons, providing whether it's wool, meat or produce for the kingdom.